All right, here we go. So if you know me already, then you probably already know that I like to keep my fingers on the pulse of things occurring in society. Uh, as the owner of Runway Houston and teaching modeling etiquette, I am around a lot of teenagers and youth. Uh, and so over the summer, uh, I was at Comic Palooza with some family friends, teenagers, and I want to preface before I get into the story that at no point in time was this teenager endorsing or a fan of Andrew Tate, which is where we're going with this, right? But over the summer, I was at Comic Palooza and we were talking about different things that were occurring in society, things that were popular at the time. And Andrew Tate came up, right? And so one of the teenagers showed me a couple of TikTok videos. And these kids, they have access to everything. They are the ones that truly have their finger on the pulse through social media, TikTok, Instagram, etc. Right? And as I'm watching some of these videos of Andrew Tate, and if you don't know who he is, I suggest that you definitely not Google him. He's a terrible human being. That I'm listening to these hot takes that he's got on TikTok, and I'm astonished, right? I can't believe that there's this person who has a media empire and millions of followers. This guy was literally probably one of the most talked about individuals last year, right? But as horrible as it was, I kind of like brushed it off, and that was that, right? People like him come and go, and they just have their say. But I kept hearing his name over and over again in the news. And as you know, in today's society, if it's polarizing, if it's controversial, guess what? It's going to get the front page. So I keep hearing more about him and his influence and power over people, right? This is a guy who's a millionaire. He's got a humongous following, living the life supposedly. Fancy cars, traveling, lots of money. And it's definitely having impact on young people's minds. And so that's kind of where this whole podcast is spawning from initially, and coming from a point of view that is completely opposite of his. My name is Omar Marcos, and this is The Dumb Show. And you're probably asking yourself, what is The Dumb Show, right? So The Dumb Show is an acronym that stands for Dense and Unsatisfactory Male Behavior. So why does this podcast exist now? Why do I feel like I need to create an outlet to speak on the male behavior of today and how damaging it is and the effect that it's having on people? Simple. For me, I have a daughter. If you know who I am, then you know that I am raising a young daughter, co-raising, I should say. I am divorced. And this girl is my entire world. And I simply do not want to live a life where she will grow up knowing and acknowledging the behavior that I have a history of having in the past. This all culminated with the whole Andrew Tate story, but really it stems also from my relationship with my daughter. And there's a multitude of reasons of why I feel the need to express this now, why I felt the need to turn to and make a 180 in my life. But I'm not going to pretend to be interesting and have people think that I have something that they want to hear. This show, after today, will be completely about you guys and your point of view and how you feel about the behavior of men. This will be coming from the point of view of women, of men, couples, married couples, all sorts of demographics from all corners of Houston. This will be your story, not mine. Who am I? I'm Omar Marcos. I have a history of multiple mistakes that I've made, I'm not proud of those mistakes, but here I am acknowledging them. And I just want you to know that this podcast will be a call of action to men to better themselves. We have collectively, and I know this, I can't speak for everybody. This is a generalization. This is not a blanket statement saying that all men are engaging in behavior that's wrong. This is a call to action to men to collectively be better. It's all over society, right? You hear songs on the radio of popular stars, music artists talking about men and how terrible they are, and we don't need men, and women in general in society brushing men off, right? There's a lot of reasons for that. I'm not placing it solely on men. Some women are very independent and truly feel they don't need men in their lives, and that's fine. I support that. If there's a man that stands behind that, I'm one of them. I promise you that. I was raised by a strong, independent woman. My mother often had to work 2 or 3 jobs to ensure that she provided for me and my sister. I never saw my mother after my father was out of the picture with any man, dating, marriage, nothing. She put her responsibility of her kids first and made sure that they had a better life that she could ever possibly have. And now I have the same job while I'm raising my daughter, right? So on this show, we're going to invite lots and lots of guests to come on to the show to speak their part. And it's going to be funny and silly, and there'll be lots of interesting things that we'll hear from people talk about with their experience. And it'll be entertaining, right? That's kind of the point. But really, I want to make sure that everybody that listens to this show understands that while this may be fun and it may be an outlet for people to come and vent and talk about some of the dumb shit that men do, that at the end of the day, this is hopefully going to catch somebody's ear and make them realize that, look, what we're doing, what maybe you're doing, what I have definitely done in the past isn't the right way. I don't want my daughter to see me that way. And I definitely don't want my daughter to date somebody like the way I was. So if Andrew Tate can speak and treat women the way he's treated them and affect the minds and influence somebody's mind and make them feel like that's okay, then hopefully, with this podcast and with your voice, hopefully we can influence somebody out there to see the error of that way, to hopefully make them realize that what they're doing is not the way that it should be, right? So I'll be inviting all sorts of guests and hopefully some behavioral experts and experts in the field of therapy, therapists, all the things to make sure that we are not just spouting off opinion and telling stories around the campfire, that there's a point to this. We can pinpoint why this behavior exists and hopefully build a bridge that has for a long time needed to be mended. So, you're going to hear a lot of stories coming from me. I'm not going to hold anything back, right? This episode, this first one is just me here talking, no guest this time, but I want to ensure you that I will not be holding back when I speak about the things that I've done. If you know me, you know that I made a lot of mistakes and I've hurt a lot of people. So you'll be hearing about that from my point of view as well. I do have a few rules that I'm not going to drag. I'm going to strictly enforce on this show. First and foremost, being a father and being divorced, I have plenty of subject matter to speak on. I will not at any point in time be dragging or pulling my ex-wife, the mother of my child, into any of what I speak about. That's not fair to her, and that will not be a point of topic at any point in time on this show. I respect her. She's a great mother. And at no point in time, again, I will highly emphasize that any story that you hear on here going forward will have no reference or connection to my ex-wife, the mother of my child. Any guests that I bring onto the show, if they have children, I will highly express to them that I hope that they do not drag the other parent into their stories, because that's not what this show is about. I'm not here to tear families apart or rehash dark pasts that may reignite something that's not the intent here. Okay. So we're not going to go there. We're not going to bring baby mamas or baby daddies into the topics of discussions on this show. If they choose to do so, that will be solely at their discretion. I will not probe or ask questions that will dwell in that arena. I will also ask all my guests, as I will keep my stories anonymous as well. So what you'll hear from me, it will be actually true. I'm not going to drag people's names into this. And if I do have guests on the show, they also will be asked to please not bring people's names into it. And again, if they wish to express how they feel and pull somebody's name into it, I'm not going to stop them, but I'm also going to suggest that they did not do that, right? Please keep in mind there are two sides to every story, right? Three sides if you really want to think about it. You know, this side or that side or the truth, right? But I will ask that all guests please keep this anonymous. And at the end of each show, we're going to grade the behavior of the man of the story, right? We're going to grade it like it's a conduct report card from school. E for excellent, S for satisfactory, P for poor, and U for unsatisfactory, which is the U in dumb. So, without even telling a story about what I've done yet, I just want to go ahead and say it now and put it out there. I failed miserably. Unsatisfactory for me. No doubt about that. I am not proud of a lot of things that I've done in my past. I don't want to bring guests on and have you guys think that this is me layering over anything that I've done. Make no mistake. I am highly regretful for all of my actions, a lot of my actions that I've done. Although I live my life by everything happens the way that it's supposed to, and everything happens for a reason, I wouldn't change anything that I've done in my life. I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be, doing what I'm doing in my life. I have an amazing, amazing daughter. The most perfect thing that could have ever happened to me. And I wouldn't change any of my past if it meant that my today would be any different. And Harper being in my life is everything to me. So I wouldn't change my past, as horrible as it's been. I honestly wish I could have not hurt as many people as I've hurt, but I can't change that. And hopefully this show will not just show you, but hopefully help people navigate life and move towards a better future for yourself, for me, for anybody else that comes on this show. So, closing thoughts. I really hope that you'll join me and our guests on this journey as we unveil their stories, my stories, and collectively move forward to a better tomorrow. I know that sounds like it's something straight out of a Hallmark card, but honestly, I want that. I'm raising a beautiful daughter. I want her to have a better tomorrow. I want her to have a influential male figure in her life, me, be a good role model for her. So if you're not following the D.U.M.B Show podcast on Instagram, please give it a follow. The content will be posted on there. Anything that's related to the show. If you wish to be a part of this show, slide into the DMs and we'll see about getting you on the show as a guest. We're looking for everybody. Your story is going to navigate this ship. So, again, I thank you for the time that you've taken just to even listen to this part. And I can't wait till you hear the stories that we have. Just thinking about who I've already lined up for some of the episodes coming up. I'm really excited for you guys to hear what they have to say. And again, the whole point of this is to move forward. And hopefully you will take something out of this. Thanks again. My name is Omar Marcos, and this was The D.U.M.B Show.